Hey everyone, Felipe here. Welcome to another Tower Saviors GNN review video. This week we have more Jujutsu Kaisen collaboration news, starting with a curse burn from fear of trees. So without further ado, let's get started with this week's GNN news. We have the challenge mission that I just mentioned, and also a Jujutsu Sister School coalitional contest. So this is based on the anime, and we are going to be introduced to new characters, I believe. So new item collecting mission. Here we go. In this mission, summoners will have to choose between Tokyo Jujutsu High School or Kyoto Jujutsu High School. And by challenging specific stages, you will get a Jujutsu High School Emblems Red or Jujutsu High School Emblems Blue, and you can use them to exchange it for new rewards, such as Mekamaru Ultimate and Maki Zenin. So hopefully those two characters are pretty good, so we'll take a look at that. In the event, each summoner can choose one character of Tokyo Jujutsu High School or Kyoto Jujutsu High School as their adjutant. Different effects will be granted according to the character chosen. And you can change their adjutant to another character of the same group every 24 hours. By challenging the stages, the adjutant characters group, summoners can get event points, and the system will determine the leading group according to the number of event points by midnight every day. Summoners of the leading group will be granted a bonus item buff, while the losing group will be granted a bonus point buff. Both the buffs will stay in play for 1 hour after activation, and summoners can only use them within 24 hours after the result is announced. The event results will be announced once a week on a scheduled basis, and rewards Tokyo Jujutsu High School medal, gold medal, silver medal, Kyoto gold medal or silver medal will be distributed to both the winning team and the losing team. Summoners may change their group after the weekly announcement. Okay, so wow, that is a lot of text, and basically what's happening is this is going to be a server-wide competition where you get to choose either the Tokyo school or the Kyoto school, and that will determine which emblems you are about to get, the red emblems or the blue emblems. And it is going to be a friendly competition throughout the server, so we'll have to see what people end up choosing. So hopefully it's not too imbalanced, given that the whole protagonist of the game is the protagonists come from one school and then the others come from another school, so hopefully it is not too biased towards that. But yeah, it is pretty nice that you still get emblems with either way. You still get buffs even though you are in the losing team, and you're not facing a winner wins more situation. So hopefully it does stay like that. And in the event that you want to change teams, you are allowed to do that after the weekly announcement. So hopefully you choose the winning team the first time, and if not, hopefully you choose the winning team the second time. But yeah, adjutants and effects. If you set up a specific character as your adjutant for the Tokyo High School, you get several effects. And if you do Kyoto Jujutsu High School, you get other effects. And here's the thing, everyone is going to have at least some of the Tokyo Jujutsu High School, and because they're the protagonists, I just hope it's not too biased. And the other one has 3, right? Okay, so wait. Wait. That's weird, because in order for you to join the Kyoto Jujutsu High School team, you have to set your adjutant as a Kyoto Jujutsu High School team. But it looks like both of them, the Kyoto school ones, they're all rewards. So Mai and Mekamaru Ultimate are both from the event shop, and Aoi Todo, I'm guessing, is also another event card. Anyways, in any case, if you put a certain ally on your profile, you will get different effects. So let's take a look at those. Maki Zenin, all members, attack will be dealt regardless of fixed combo shield. That is pretty nice. Toge Inumaki, CD of enemies will be delayed for 1 round. Ooh, every wave. That's actually kind of nice. When the character runestone is triggered, turn runestone's touch while moving into enchanted runestones of the leader's race. Okay, this one's a little bit lukewarm. Not super good. Yuji Itadori. Attack of all members will synchronize with that of the Jujutsu sorcerer or the cursed user cursed spirit member that has the highest attack. That is actually very nice. Jujutsu sorcerer members ×2. That is a good damage bonus, but also, I mean, kind of underwhelming, specifically for a jackpot card, you know? Honestly, these two might be better than just an extra 2 times attack. Launch 1 extra non-attributive attack as much as 1.5 of Jujutsu sorcerer members to all enemies each round. That one's also pretty good because it does boost your entire team. But at that point, you might as well just take the 2 times attack bonus if you're not looking for extra attacks. Like, the extra attacks will be good to break the consecutive attack shield, but yeah. Overall, I do think Toge Inumaki is going to be the better one because you are delaying your enemies every round, and that is going to be very powerful. Granted, if the stage is very easy, you might want to just have a ×2 attacks to just clear things faster. Yuji Itadori also gives your entire team a slight boost in attack, but you know, it's just a nice passive effect. And this one over here is also going to be very powerful because it does allow you to ignore fixed combo shield no matter what. Although fixed combo shield does make that situational, so you know, not that consistent unless you face an enemy that has fixed combo shield. On the Kyoto Jujutsu High School side, we do have Mai Zenin, Mekamaru Ultimate, and Aoi Todo. For their effects, we have, okay, these are kind of busted. Well, the first one's busted. Attack will be dealt regardless of duo, trio, quartet, and quintet, and that is just a passive skill that you get that is absolutely broken, or that is very useful, and so that is going to be very good to have if you decide to go with a Kyoto High School team. For Mekamaru Ultimate, you deal a sniper damage to all enemies before attacks, regardless of defense and enchanted runestone shield. That is just a snipe, so snipes are not that useful unless you're dealing with stealth, because more often than not, their damage is very small compared to the chunky HP bar that the enemies have. For Aoi Todo, we have, at the beginning and at the end of each round, turn the runestones of the leader's attribute into enchanted runes. Arrange the runestones of the leader's attribute from the top left to bottom. And that is basically Lilith's craft skill on a passive effect, which, although it doesn't directly increase your damage output, well, it does a little bit with the enchanted runes. It does give you the ability of easier spinning, and that overall may increase your damage output because you are doing more combos, you're arranging your board better, things like that. So that is also a very nice utility to have. But I do believe that if you have a lot of duo, trio, quartet, quintet, this one might be preferable because you can just straight up ignore it overall. But if you are looking for more consistent and good utility overall, then this effect is better. But yeah, so now we're going into the characters that you can exchange from the item collecting mission, starting off with Mekamaru Ultimate, which is going to be a Light Machina card with a CD6 skill and has the following effect. Deal a light damage of 30 million to all enemies regardless of defense. If the leader is... oh, and enchanted runestone shield. If the leader is a Jujutsu member, Jujutsu sorcerer member, the light damage becomes 300 million to all enemies regardless of defense, and enchanted runestone shield. Turn the columns below the character and the neighboring members into enchanted light runes. For 1 round, the character's attack increases by 3 times and damage will be dealt regardless of fixed combo shield. Overall, this is not a bad card, but also not great. Sniper damage, same thing as I said before. Unless you're running Ra, 30 million damage is not a lot. Ra straight up gives you 30 million with their active skill, and it makes it an insane number after that. But if you're not running Ra, 30 million is a very minuscule amount of HP. If your leader is a Jujutsu sorcerer member, the damage increases 10 times to 300 million, which is a very good chunk of damage. However, it is still not that much in the grand scheme of things with newer stages, because enemies have upwards of 1 billion health from now. So dealing 300 million is not that much. And the only saving grace is that this card has more aside from the sniper. Turn the columns below the character and the name of members into enchanted light runes. Gives you 15 enchanted light runes, which is very useful in terms of attacking runes. And the character gets a 3 times attack boost, which is not super high, but it's also something to give you more damage that round. And not only that, the character will deal damage regardless of fixed combo shield, which also increases its utility a little bit. So overall, not a bad card, but also not the best. Oh, we do have a team skill though. If both the leader and ally are Jujutsu sorcerer members, according to the number of... Oh wait, no, this is just the combo count. Wait. Yeah, this is just the Jujutsu sorcerer team skill. I thought it was gonna be something special to him, but it's just the normal Jujutsu sorcerer archetype specific team skill. But yeah, we do have a bonding skill, which in this case it might be useful. If you own dual max Mai Zenin, Mekamaru can decrease its skill by 1 every round. And the reason I say this is powerful is if you put this guy in a Ra team, you could potentially make this, if you fulfill the condition every single round, you can make this a CD3 skill, in which 30 million, unconditional 30 million, is actually very good on a Ra team, because for Ra, if you're not able to convert your runestones into enchanted runes, it will not trigger the big damage from their sniper. So having an unconditional one might be good to have in there, but again, Egyptian gods, good, but also might not survive too long in terms of the meta. But yeah, next we have Mai Zenin, which is, related to Maki Zenin, the non-jackpot card. But let's hope she is better, because Maki is not that great. Well, CD6, Fire Human card, CD6 has the following effect. Consume 1 bullet to activate this skill. Deal a fire damage of 50 million to all enemies regardless of defense and enchanted runestone shield. The character's attack increases by 4 times. The character's damage will be dealt regardless of duo, trio, quartet, quintet elemental shield. Effects 2 and 3 stay in play until no fire runes are dissolved in the first batch. This is good. This is good. And it might not... I did just mention snipers are not good. But hear me out. This is what Kurapika was before the Dragonware. Kurapika is a light card that gets a self-attack bonus of ×4, and so many people ran him because it is a continuous attack buff for your team. In this case, you are dealing with a fire version of Kurapika. Not exactly 1-by-1, because Kurapika does have his own exclusive Dragonware, which further increases his damage output. But in writing, Mai Zenin is the same as Kurapika, but with additional utility. Also not the same as Kurapika because Kurapika can switch and has other stuff going on for him, but she also has the ability to break duo, trio, quartet, quintelemental shield with her continuous attack buff. That being said, you do need to dissolve fire runes in the first batch, which can be countered by enemy skills such as fire combo nullifying, fire trojan, things like that. But overall, I do think this is a very good skill. The sniper is just secondary because 50 million damage is also not that much. I also have the question of the bullet. What is that? So let's see here. If there is a Mai Zenin, all Mai Zenin gets 1 bullet after entering the stage. Each Mai Zenin can have at most 1 bullet at the same time. Mai Zenin that has 0 bullets attack times 1.5. And after Dragonic Compulsion, all Mai Zenin's bullets increased by 1. Okay, so there we go. That's my answer to the bullet question. And here's the thing, right? You have a 4 times attack bonus whenever you have your active skill activated. But when you do, you are down to 0 bullets, which gives you a further 1.5 attack increase. So overall, I do think this card is equivalent to Kurapika's attack boost with the ability of breaking the color shield. So that is very good in my opinion. And honestly, one of the few cards that I say it's a must get because it will be a really good card for future fire teams as well that have no issues dissolving fire runes in the first batch. So definitely a good card to have. You also get a 1.5 attack boost, you know, honestly a very solid card. Then we have the thumbnail for this week's GNN, which is going to be the curse born from fear of trees. That is going to be Hanami, which will debut on the 1st of May, on Monday. And he is a earth demon, which is very fitting because he is a plant, and has a CD6 effect. All enemies will be parasitized, deal a non-attributive damage of 10 times the enemy's defense plus 1 million to each enemy regardless of defense and enemy skills each round until defeated. Recover HP as much as the non-attributive damage dealt. This effect can be superimposed at most 2 times. If the effect is superimposed 2 or more times, the enemies will be inactivated for 1 round. If 2 or more enemies are parasitized, the character's skill cooldown -6. Okay, so this card is good. And well, the card is good. It's not broken, but it's definitely good and definitely worth having in your inventory. This card is basically Verdandi, but on steroids. Verdandi gives you HP lifesteal, but it's based on your recovery. And you can stack it 3 times. But recovery usually goes to 2,000 per character, so like with 6 characters that's going to be like what, 12,000 give or take, 20,000, 30,000 for elf teams, which is not that much given how much HP people have, or characters, enemies have. But this card takes that and blows it out of the water because you are scaling off your enemy's defense, and characters now, or enemies now, have a shit ton of defense, even the really baby ones. For example, a boss card in one of the newer stages can have upwards of like 500 million defense, or like 1 billion defense, and if they're petrified, if they have petrified runes, this can be like 100 million defense. So you're dealing a non-attributive damage plus 1 million, but you know, of 10 times the enemy's defense plus 1 million to each enemy regardless of defense. So they're taking the full blow of it, and regardless of enemy skills. So this is gonna deal a lot of damage to your enemies. And that is really good because this stays in play until the enemy dies. Dude, this is like so good. CD6 too. Verdandi was CD8, so stacking that thing was a pain in the ass. Back when like grind teams were still good, like a Wukong Daji team, Verdandi was so good, people would still wait 8 rounds to parasitize once, 8 more rounds to stack it twice, 8 more rounds to stack it 3 times, and that would give you like infinite life with all the defense boost that you got, and like grind down the enemy. But this is CD6, deals more damage, and yeah, you know, and if you get up to 2 times, you inactivate them for 1 round, so that's even further more utility. So this card is very good. But I don't expect to see it being played too much. Mostly because nowadays team can just kill enemies really fast. And so having a card that life steals a lot, but you know, still take a couple of rounds to kill the enemy, you know, it might not be the first choice, since you can just use a leader that just kills the enemy in 1 round instead. So even though this card is very good, very broken, and definitely worth having in your inventory for the future, I still don't think it will see too much play because there are other options that will allow to kill the same enemy but faster. But I still think this card is very good with the whole like 10 times the enemy's defense plus 1 million. You recover that as HP recovery. The damage is dealt regardless of defense and regardless of enemy skill, so it will always go through, so it means that you will always get HP recovery, which will counter poison, recovery 0, you know, whole variety of things. But again, if you can find a substitute that kills the enemy in 1 round and faster, I don't see why you would add this card to your team. But mark my words, this is definitely a card that you want to have in your inventory. But yeah. And last but not least, we have the Evoking Coin Shop, which is going to be a new character, Adventure in Void Rakshasa. Hopefully it has a similar skill to the Iron Fan Princess Rakshasa, but I'm not expecting anything since Evoking Coin Shop cards are free to play. Their effects are nice, but I don't think they're going to release a black gold card level of active skill on this. Unfortunately, there's no details on this character, so maybe I'll cover it when it comes out on the 1st of May. But for now, we'll just have to wait to see what that card is. But yeah, so that's the end of the GNN. So just to recap, we have a new event, which is going to be a server-wide competition where you can choose between the Tokyo and the Kyoto Jujutsu high school teams. 3 new characters are released, or 2 new characters are released that we know of, which is going to be Mekamaru Ultimate and also Mai Zenin. Mekamaru is a pretty good Machina card with a sniper and additional utility, but I do still think that he is somewhat average and replaceable in your teams. On the other hand, Mai Zenin has an amazing active skill, which is comparable to Kurapika from the Hunter x Hunter series, but with additional utility. And not only that, she does have a team skill that allows her to gain an additional 1.5 times attack bonus after you use your skill. Her skill will, the only downside to her is that if you mess up her condition, you will not be able to activate her skill again because you do still need to consume a bullet. So before you activate her skill again, you have to trigger Dragonic Compulsion to gain a bullet back, which in some scenarios is not going to be that bad. But if you use domain expansions, it does not count because it is not Dragonic Compulsion. So keep in mind those weaknesses, but keep in mind that she will also be a very good damage damage dealer for future fire teams. We also have the challenge mission, A Curse Born from Trees, with the new character Hanami, which is my opinion, it is Verdandi on steroids. We have to confirm that when the card comes out, but I do believe this card is absolutely insane and definitely worth having one copy in your inventory at dual max, just in case for future stages. Last but not least, we have a new character in the Evoking Coin Shop, and not much details on it because we don't have the character's active skill on screen in this GNN news. But yeah, that's all I had to say about this GNN news. Pretty short one, all things considered, and it's been a while since I've seen one that has multiple characters that I really do recommend. I do recommend getting Mai Zenin, and I also recommend getting Hanami, which, you know, I typically have the lukewarmest of takes, but in this case, I do believe these are very good cards to have in your inventory. But yeah, that's all I had to say about this GNN news. If I said anything wrong or if I missed anything, please let me know in the comments so I can improve. As always, stay tuned on my YouTube channel for more Tower of Seven content. I do post guides, clear videos, and other Tower of Seven content there, so keep an eye out on that. But for now, stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you next time. Bye everyone!